One thing that men should be grateful about for TikTok is for the men who are unaware of all the tactics of manipulation that women use in relationships. Like when you come on TikTok, they just come on here and expose themselves freely, so that if you ever had any questions, or if you ever wondered if a woman was playing you or playing with you whenever she start crying because you're in an argument with her and you're telling her all of the valid points and she has nothing else to say, and you wanted to know if she was manipulating you, this video just gave you a lot of context.
Here are 5 ways women get men caught up. Caught up, got me feeling it, caught up. This is how. Let's get into it. Put their best fake foot forward. Pretending to be ambitious, pretending to like what you like, pretending to be everything that you could possibly want in a woman, but it's fake. 2, getting you dependent. And you so dependent on her for certain things, she know you ain't going nowhere. Number 3, art of seduction, over the top sexuality to exploit you. Wants it all the time. Doing everything that you said your ex wouldn't do. Yeah, she doing it. Number 4, getting you jealous. Women definitely do that. Play on your competitive instinct. Number 5, love bombing. Lavishing you with attention, admiration, sexual activity, constant words of affirmation, attempt to influence you or manipulate you. Don't say Sam didn't warn you.
Women have very dark manipulation tactics they use to control you, and you're probably not even aware of it. It's always painted that men are so deceptive, lying, and manipulative, not caring about who they hurt along the way. But women are masters of psychology, and a lot of them use these 6 tactics I'm about to share with you. 1, withdrawal. Women know how to have you worried, blaming yourself, etc., all while they're all smiles watching you wonder what the hell you even did wrong. Guys have almost been programmed to believe that if their lady is keeping to herself, then something must be wrong. Your brain automatically goes into panic mode and you start thinking if you missed her birthday or anniversary, or if it's something else that you forgot or something that you did wrong. Now the next thing you know, that you're trying to make up for something that you didn't even do to begin with. Women do this to try to keep you on your toes. It's a way to make sure that you don't get too comfortable and start taking her for granted. It's a scare tactic to have you constantly thinking about her and start panicking because you feel that you might be losing her. Number 2 is mirroring. Mirroring is when someone copies the characteristics and traits of someone else. This could be through body language. This could be through verbal and physical habits, attitudes, tendencies, etc. Basically, they evaluate what you need in a relationship so they can pose as a perfect match for you. The problem is that it's never truly genuine. It's a tactic they use to bring your guards down in order to easier fulfill whatever agenda they have. Number 3 is guilt. A woman knows that there's a heavy responsibility on men to ensure that their woman is happy and well taken care of. She plays on that to get what she wants, or when she wants to get your emotions under her control. Guilt tripping you almost immediately changes any situation to work in her favor. Do you know how many men know something is off in their relationship? The signs are there that she's being unfaithful, but she throws a tantrum, or she turns on waterworks, or she blames the man for being insecure or controlling. And what does the man do? He starts questioning if he's tripping or if he's thinking too deep about obvious signs that he's seeing. Then he's apologizing to her to make her feel better when she knows that he was right all along. Number 4 is the hot and cold method. This is a staple in the manipulation playbook. She showers you with affection and attention, making you feel comfortable and attached to her. Then she catches you off guard with the disappearing act. Going goes, conversation seems dry, her demeanor starts to give off very much cold shoulder vibes. You don't realize it, but she's getting you hooked. Now you're sitting there like an addict, messaging, asking what's wrong. You want to see her, buying gifts to try to fix whatever you think is happening in an effort to get her attention and affection again. Number 5, the power of suggestion. This is a very covert trap. Have you ever been with a woman and she conveniently sticks into the conversation about this shoe that she saw or this dress that she saw online and loved? Or if y'all are together and she sees something that she likes and she says things like, I would love it if a man did something like that for me. Or I've never had a man buy me anything like that. What she's doing is subconsciously putting actions into your head. She's not directly telling you to buy it or do certain things for her, while at the same time influencing you to want to do these things for her. Number 6 is love bombing. Now this is probably one of the most strategic and darkest ones. It comes in waves, a process that sucks you in and controls you just the way she likes it. It involves hyping you up, compliments, affection, the whole nine. She's going to make you feel like you're the perfect match, like you're special. They shower you with all this love and attention in an attempt to influence you. By the end of this process, you're falling hard, and she's got you exactly where she wants you, fully invested in her and extremely vulnerable. When you spot these manipulation tactics, call them out on it. Better yet, leave. Because no good comes from a woman who practices these tactics.
Told you she feels safe with you, that she feels totally at ease being herself with you, that she's never done any of these naughty things with anyone else. How do you tell if she's using you or if she's actually sincere? Well, we're going to explore the 7 sweet lies she might say if she's using you, including the 4-letter word that makes you putty in her hands. And no, it's not love. Did you know that the male brain reacts more to positive stimuli than the female brain? Did you know that the female brain reacts more to negative stimuli than the male brain? Essentially, this means that men are more affected by positive experiences, like these 7 sweet lies, and women are more affected by negative experiences, the reason she tells these 7 sweet lies. So, if you've fallen prey to any of these 7 sweet lies, you're biologically wired to. It's not your fault. Whether you've just met, or you're dating, or you're in a relationship, these all apply. I love our conversations. Now that seems innocent enough, but if your conversations are only via text, or if you're older, only via phone call, then you might be just a placeholder for Chad, and she's just using you for attention in the meantime. If she never wants to get together, but she's willing to text with you or talk with you on her schedule, that could be a sign she's just using you. And of course, you mistake her engagement for interest, because what woman would be engaging if she's not interested? Remember, you're more biologically wired to respond to positive stimulus, especially if number 2 is involved. You're so insert positive compliment here. You're so strong. You're so attractive. You're so sexy. You're so successful. You're so handsome. You're so generous. Okay, what man doesn't want to hear these things, right? So of course, bring activation, positive stimuli. But when a woman is only using you, she will pump up your ego just to get something. So you want to watch for an ask that comes shortly after the compliment. It might be right away, it might be a few days later, a few hours later. And I'm going to share with you how to spot the difference between genuine and using. So stick with me. It might be a purse she really wants but can't afford. It might be help with her bills that she should be able to pay on her own. It might be a fence that needs fixing. If there's always an ask attached to her compliment, then the fib is that the compliment is more a purpose of manipulation and using you than it is of truth for her. Pay special attention if she is focusing on things she knows are your hot buttons. For example, number 3, hot button of just about every man. You're an amazing lover. Now, what man doesn't want to feel like the king of the bedroom? Exactly. If she says you're the best lover she's ever had and the only man who's made her pray to God 3 times in a row, if you know what I mean, she could be using you. Again, pay attention for the ask. And the ask might not just be for something or some act of service. It might be asking for forgiveness for something she's done wrong that you know about or don't know about or is coming up. Hidden agenda. Selfish. You don't care about me. Or you don't love me. Meanwhile, you do care about her, and or you do love her, or it's way too soon in the relationship to be able to make those kind of declarations. But when she doesn't get her way, she throws out the old, you don't care about me, you don't love me. Ladies, knock it off. Now, if you do care about her and or love her, and you've proven that through your actions in the relationship, then she might be using this phrase to use you. This fib comes out when you say no to her, when you set boundaries, or when you call her out on bad behavior. For example, let's say you're always picking up the tab at restaurants and she never gives back in any meaningful way. And no, it is not a meaningful exchange, because Ladies, do you not like sex? If you don't, maybe it's number 3 and you're just lying to him to get your way. But let's say you do call her out on not chipping in or wanting you to buy her that expensive designer handbag. And she goes on this long diatribe of how she's working so hard and she's struggling financially and you just don't understand. You don't care about me. You don't love me. Okay, that's a red flag. Because lady, if you're working at Wendy's and you can't afford a designer handbag, don't be asking your man to pick up the tab on a designer handbag and chip in at Olive Garden once in a while. Would it kill you?
Huh. She said women are masters of psychology. I guess. But I tend to believe that they're just used to a man giving up his power when it comes to dealing with women. Women get away with stuff that other men don't get away with when dealing with each other. So pardon me if I don't think it's very impressive. Pressing buttons and manipulation becomes a big problem when the intentions aren't for the better. Usually in this day and age, manipulation is for personal gain, typically monetary, as many women only want men for their resources. Contrary to what some women may say, the man does not have to be wealthy, rich, or have a great career. It's really about whatever resources he may have, as long as it's more than what she is capable of. He just needs to have something they want and be generous with that and whatever that is. For example, a woman who's in need of a place to stay, doesn't have a car, or otherwise don't have much going on for themselves. They can use a man just to basically stay with for the time being. Simply being able to save on bills, rent, food. Those are some of the expenses women use men for. There's levels to this, of course, but that's usually how it goes. Some of these types of women will waste no time telling you about them being behind on bills, struggling in some way, and basically pulling on your heartstrings as a man to help them out. For sure, many men want to be a solution, especially if they care about the girl they with and they want to provide. But it becomes a problem if the woman comes off as a user or trying to be deceptive, basically trying to play him. Like he's a thirsty dude that lacks options and needs to pay to play. The gaslighting, the blaming, the guilt trips, it all plays a part. Many women love to play the victim to gain sympathy. Crying, being dramatic, using past trauma for excuses for bad behavior. What about women who always express disappointment, even small issues, to start an argument? You ever argued with a woman and she conveniently forgot details of stories where she's at fault? She doubts your memories when talking about her mistakes? Or instead of taking accountability, she blames you and your decision making? A woman who's hard to reason with and serious conversations become frustrating circular arguments. Intentionally refusing to hear your valid logical points of contention? Yeah, that sounds familiar with some of these toxic relationships out there. Ever get compared to phantom options of what real men would do? Or what those options would do for her and how you're lucky to have her? Some even use sex or access to sex to confuse men who are trying to be serious, holding her accountable, to get them off track. Meanwhile, she don't listen to him and even continues to do what the man complained about. As was mentioned in the clips, love bombing is very real. And for men who lack steady attention from women over the years, this works wonders for women, gaining control over those men. Those men start to think that the woman actually cares for them and start to gain feelings for them. And they quickly snatch away that attention and love when they don't get their way. Excessive compliments to get a man to do things for them, like fix their car, pay for something they want, move heavy things for them, stuff like that. Again, most of the time, men will want to do things for their girl, of course. But men want to reciprocate it as well, not just a one-way street. And unfortunately, many women who use these tactics do this because they don't have much to give in return, other than access to sex and intimacy, of course. Men with insecurities and little to no experience with women on a consistent basis are very much prone to these manipulation tactics. And that's why when a lady says men respond to positive feedback more and women respond to negative feedback more in comparison, I tend to agree with her. Men usually have to work for praise, as grace and positive stimulus aren't received as often. And of course, women use that to their advantage. But yes, sir. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know y'all experiences. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hit me in the comments. And until next time, be easy. gone.